Fractal Design released their newest case, the Torrent, about a month ago now, and unfortunately it was only out for a few days before being snagged off shelves and dropped from websites. Oh, hey. Fractal did this because they found a problem with their cases and issued a formal recall bringing all product back to the factory or ceasing sales immediately. Something that other PC companies could learn a lot from. Now, I was lucky enough to get mine on release day because they haven't started selling them again yet, but I didn't want to touch it until I actually received the fix in the mail. Well, guess what? It just arrived. First of all, you can see it right from the camera versus me. This is a massive box. I mean, all right, let's actually get this thing out of here. As you can see, it's really not as big as what the box looked like, but compared to some things I have here in the studio, it's a big case. Meet the Fractal Design Torrent. I don't have the RGB version. There is many different variations of this case. They come in black, white, and this slate gray. And then they have fans included in the case. That's one of the highlights of it. It's got 3 140mm fans at the bottom and 2 180mm fans at the front. This is the gray edition with the clear side window. They also have tinted glass and everything too. You can check out Fractal's website. I'll leave a link below if you want to look at all the variations of this case. This version of the case comes in at $189.99 USD. For the RGB version, which gives you 5 RGB fans, that comes in over $200. So this is by no means a cheap case. It's got tempered glass panels on the front side and the back side here on the cable management side as well, which I'll show you in a second. It has 3 colors, black, white, and this slate gray. And then it has the dark tinted glass, the light tinted glass, and then you can actually get it without glass and just solid panels as well. Besides already having fans included, I mean, 5 fans is a lot of fans. So that kind of justifies the price that Fractal's asking for this because these are not cheap fans. They're actually very nice fans. Another cool feature with the case is there's a fan header hub attached inside the back of the case. In fact, that leads me into why I had to wait so long for this case. This replacement kit is to fix the fan hub that Fractal included with the case originally because they found an issue with it. The cool thing about the case is it has these quick release latches to it. Both front and back glass can just flip on and off like that. You just pull on the tab. Anyway, this reveals the back section for me, and you can see the fan hub at the bottom here. Fractal's calling this the Nexus 9P Slim Fan Hub. Now, the fan hub had a problem that Fractal discovered immediately upon release, pretty similar to NZXT's H1 PCB problem that they had where the cases were catching on fire. Well, if you didn't hear about that, I'll leave a link below because I outlined that entire issue a couple months ago. They didn't want the same problem to happen with them, so they immediately took care of this. Fractal Design's recall notice said, this is stated right from Fractal's website. They said some reports of fan hubs damaged in manufacturing, potentially causing a short circuit, have led us to reevaluate the circuit board design. This is the original fan hub, which I'm going to throw away after this video. You can see in the pictures here, the screw holes in the original hub are not protected. They're not grounded like they should be. The new one looks very nice, very elaborate. They definitely took some time in the R&D on it, but they fixed the problem. So all 3 of these screw points are grounded now, and that way you can't drill into it or cut into the PCB and ground out the case. Because if this metal screw contacts a 12-volt plane or a power connector per se inside this circuit board, it will ground out and it could spark or short the case out or short your power supply. Now your power supply should protect you in this instance, but it was just better that Fractal took care of this on their own immediately and issued the recall. This was definitely the way to handle this situation. You don't have to worry about it if you go to buy this case. There is no problems with it. They caught all of them before they shipped out, and the ones that did ship out, they immediately sent us repair kits to handle this situation. Now that I told you about the recall, but you don't have to worry because it's totally fixed, I'll do a quick walk around of the case and then I can finally build in this thing. Now you saw at the beginning from the box and just from looking at it here, this is a very large case. If you go on Fractal's website, it's classified as an e-atx case, but some people are calling it a mid-tower. I don't really know. I have mid-towers and they're nowhere near this size. It has mounting locations for ITX all the way up to e-atx. It has cable routing grommets, 2 on the top, 2 on the side, and actually 4 on the bottom. The 4 bottom ones aren't rubberized like these side ones are. They're just like pass-throughs, but they're edged out so it's underneath the motherboard. You almost don't even notice they're there. The bottom fans are 3 140mm pre-installed, and the front is 2 180mm pre-installed. Now the bottom section here actually has a removable tray that you can unscrew 2 mounting screws, and then the whole tray can pull out. The inside of this case, being so large, has tons of mounting locations for water cooling components. So I'm pretty sure Fractal has designed this to be a water-cooled system, but just the fact that they include all these openings right here for brackets and pumps and everything, I think it's a cool idea, and I would love to do a water cooling build in this. The entire back here is this honeycomb shape, as you can see. It has mounts for a 120mm or a 140mm fan as well. So I guess theoretically you could put a radiator on the back too if you wanted. As I said, it has 2 180mm fans installed. Now you can't see them because of this stylish looking grill that they have here. This is not metal, this is plastic. Even though it looks like metal, I kind of wish they would have had like metal accents on it or something. The Fractal logo at the bottom is metal, it's an aluminum plate. To remove this grill, all you have to do is push from both sides at the top and it'll just swing out and lift off. After the front panel pulls off, you can actually remove this dust filter, which has cutouts for the exact same style as the front filter is. It just mimics the front section. The filter can be removed, cleaned off, and reinstalled on the panel, and then the panel can just be snapped back on. One of the interesting highlights of this case is these 180mm fans that this thing has. It comes with this bracket system box. This is because you can replace the front brackets on this with these side pieces to be able to install different size fans. You can change it from the 180mm down to 140mm. You can do 3 140mm, or you can even shrink it down to 120mm and do 3 120s. This allows you to install radiators or fan and radiator combos, or even just some different style fans if that's what you want to do. So the versatility is tremendous on this front panel. Another cool touch with this thing is the bottom dust filter is removable from the front. All you have to do is pull on that and the whole thing slides out. Moving on to the right side of the case, or the cable management side, there is 4 2.5 removable drive trays for SSDs or hard disk drives. There's 2 3.5-inch removable drive trays behind the motherboard section as well. And then there's cable management ties all over the place on this thing. And like I said at the beginning, the Nexus 9P Slim Fan Hub is along the bottom here, which is really nice. Now, it's only a fan hub, it is not an RGB hub. When you're cable managing this, you have to keep in mind that you're gonna do things backwards from what you normally would, because the power supply is up here, as you can see from the video right there. Let's talk about that. If you undo these 2 thumb screws at the top and pull on the panel, the whole top will actually lift off. It's a plastic panel. It actually feels kind of cheap if you ask me, but hey, the rest of the thing is metal. You've got plenty of space up top for your power supply, as you'll see in the build video in a little bit. The max size power supply that can fit up here is 230mm. And then you've got cable ties on the top and on the sides here. Another reason that makes me think this case is designed for water cooling, if you look at the top right near the power supply here, there's 3 holes. 2 are a smaller size and 1's a bigger size. Those are fill ports for water cooling. Fractal's thought of everything. The last thing to look at is the front I/O, or in this case, it's actually top I/O. It has a headphone and microphone. These are separate, not combined. USB 3.0, a power button, a USB 3.0 again, and then a USB Type-C and a reset button. The side of it here, you can see it has these cable tie straps. That's because they know that you're gonna have to run your power cable out from the power supply at the top of the case. Enough showing you around on this case. I can't wait to build in this thing, so check out this montage.
You're so fine, oh lady, let your body take control.
My build video and my entire idea for this is just to build in it and tell you about the experience of it and what you can expect when you're building in it at home. Let's talk about what I really like about this case. The first thing I want to point out that I enjoyed is the GPU bracket down here. A lot of the new 30 series GPUs are very large coolers and they're very heavy. So sometimes when you're building in a case, you'll get GPU sag. Everybody knows what that is, right? I honestly don't need the GPU bracket, but I wanted to install it to be able to use it and see how it works. That being said, make sure you put your GPU bracket in before you do your cable management. I did all that cable management in the back, and the cables run right in front of where the GPU bracket has to bolt in at. So make sure you install that before you try to do any cable managing. Second thing I think is really nice is the size of the motherboard cutout is humongous. So no matter what you're doing, if I wanted to upgrade this to a liquid cooler to be able to handle that 10850K, I could just unbolt this from the case without having to remove the motherboard completely. Another thing I think is a nice touch, the I/O on the top of the case, the power button reminds me of like a supercar push button start. What about you? What do you think? Overall, it has tons of room to build in. As I said, there's lots of space for liquid cooling. I would love to do a liquid cooled build on this. I've never done one myself, so who knows? And another benefit of the case is you don't have to remove or move the PC to be able to clean the bottom dust filter. The case can sit exactly where it is. You can just remove your front filter, take that outside and dust it off, and you can slide the bottom filter right out from the front as well. Good touch. Now, even though I really enjoy building in the case and there's a lot of positives, there is a few negative things that you may want to look out for before you buy. The first and biggest thing that I thought was a dislike is the front brackets. When you install those 120 or 140 mil brackets in the case, you can't remove the bottom bracket at all. As soon as those brackets are in, they only go in one way and they have to come inwards towards the case. They can't flex, they can't be flipped around or anything like some cases can be. So you could put your radiator on the outside almost, or like the radiator and then fans sit outside the case. This all has to be on the inside. Once that bracket is on there, it blocks you from being able to pick up that tray. You know how I unbolted it and pulled it out? You can't do that with that bracket in there. So also on that note, if you're gonna be doing liquid cooling and you decide to put a radiator in the bottom and a radiator in the front, which is essentially the only places you could put radiators besides that back 140 or 120 I was talking about, it's just gonna be really tight. Like you're gonna have to do a lot of planning and layout and stuff like that before you do your liquid cooling, more so than you would with a normal case, because if you put a radiator that's too tall or too long or something, that's going to interfere, and then where your connections come out at, that may give you trouble as well. So just if you're liquid cooling in this case, which I'm sure a lot of people will be, especially in this price range, just plan it out ahead of time. Another downside to the case is, like I talked about at the beginning, this is a large case. This is the biggest case that I have without a doubt. In fact, these things are sitting flush back against each other. I can tell you from right here, the Meshify 2 Compact is a little bit narrower, but it is shorter height-wise and length-wise tremendously. So the Torrent is without a doubt one of their bigger cases. Now, along with the size of the case comes the price. Like I said at the beginning, this case came in at $189.99 USD. That is not a cheap case by any means. I can't expect someone to be paying $200 for a case and putting $500 worth of components in it. It really just doesn't make good financial sense. So I can't recommend it to someone that's looking for a budget build. It's definitely for the high-end crowd. But overall, if you have the space, get the case. And as you can see, it's a great looking case. The style, the aesthetic, I really wanted to go for that brushed aluminum look to fit that gunmetal design. So what do you think? Do you think I picked good components? But if you want to catch more hardware reviews just like this one, or maybe even a how-to video or a full PC build, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified next time a video goes live. And I'll catch you next time on Danny's Tech Channel.